r/AmItheAsshole. Hoodie_4552 says, AITA for not comforting my daughter after she got hurt. I know I sound like the R from the title, but let me explain. I am 30, have a daughter, F13. I'm a single dad, and it's always been just her and I. My daughter, due to health issues, has always dealt with a lot of joint pain, which is a difficult thing to deal with at such a young age. And it's really difficult seeing my daughter in chronic pain. We are watching my sister's dog, who is a high energy golden retriever. This morning my daughter was playing with the dog, not just throwing a toy or something, but full on like roughhousing with the dog. I seen right away that her doing this wouldn't end well for my daughter. So I warned my daughter that playing with the dog like that probably won't be the best idea, and told her she'll probably be in pain later, so she better stop. She told me she'll be fine. After that I told her she better stop because I don't see a good outcome happening. She ignored me, so I let her roughhouse with the dog, which went on for over an hour. When my daughter was done, I could tell she was feeling some pain already. She didn't complain throughout the day, but it was very clear she was in pain, specifically a more intense pain, after playing with the dog. My mom came over to visit and saw my daughter clearly in pain, and usually when my daughter is having more difficult days with managing her pain, I make sure she's comfortable and just try to make her feel better. Well, today my daughter wasn't willing to tell me she was in pain, so I wasn't about to start comforting her if she's trying to act like everything is fine. I explained that to my mom, and she got upset and told me I need to grow up and stop being a stubborn ass just cause my daughter didn't listen to me. So AITA? Morgaine 125 says, AITA. For Peter's sake, your daughter wanted to play with a dog. My heart aches for your daughter that such a simple joy as playing with a dog causes her significant pain. Would it really so awful to show some empathy and take care of her when you can tell she's in pain, even if she doesn't say it? It seems like you were withholding comfort from her until she gave you the "I told you so" moment you were looking for. Your What for Smith says, I read that as pet's sake and wasn't really wrong. Tiny Airy says, piggybacking on the top comment, because I was the kid with chronic pain. It was so hard. You just want to do normal things, but you pay for them every time. Sometimes you do them anyway, even if rationally it might not be wise, because Christ, you have to get some joy somewhere. Living with chronic pain can be a really difficult and frankly depressing existence. Be kind to your daughter. Needy for Sleep says, AITA, chronic pain is a form of disability. She was trying to do something normal that all kids her age do. It's affecting her emotionally, not just physically. Disabilities are isolating, as isn't someone saying "I told you so" will cause so many more mental health problems, because it's basically saying it's your fault for having disabilities. Quinn Love says, I agree. She can't have this one moment of joy without a lesson. So sad. Tatter Sprout says, AITA boy, you really know how to suck the joy out of a moment. As a person with chronic pain and bodily autonomy, I get to decide what activities are worth being in pain later. Let your daughter have fun in her life. She can't spend her life in bubble wrap. You acting like an R is actively teaching your daughter to lie to you and not alert you when she needs you or your help. Don't be that way. Do you want her to suffer in silence because your ego is too big? Jetin Thevenahave Kundi says, I was gonna say the same. Like, I get it that you told her not to do it and she did it anyways, but she's a kid. Him purposely ignoring her pain until he gets his "I told you so" moment is gonna create a recipe for disaster down the line. Mark my words, something's gonna happen later in which he's gonna tell his daughter, "Why didn't you tell me about this?" and she's gonna hit him with "I was scared to say something." r/AmItheAsshole. Light_flowers says, AITA for telling a server not to bring an infant into the kitchen in the restaurant we work at. So I work at this bar and passports bar, and a couple days a week I do expo. For those who don't know, that position is the one in the kitchen where you put together the orders, send food out, and make sure everything is being made on time. I was expoing last night, and one of the managers had a baby about 4 months ago. She was off work, and brought her baby in. For some reason she handed it off to a server, let's call her server, and server comes back for ranch dressing, carrying the baby in its carrier. Immediately I tell her not to bring an actual infant back there, and she starts arguing. I said it's a dangerous environment, not to mention we were frick. I'm busy and none of the guys back there give a shit about seeing a baby right now, and she's basically saying I'm overreacting. So she stands a few feet away from the line and waits for me to give her ranch, still holding the baby carrier. Then like 10 minutes later, the manager who birthed the kid strolls through with the damn carrier. I looked at her and asked if she really thought this was the best place to bring her child, and she just looked at me like an idiot. I don't think you should bring infant children into restaurant kitchens. There's hot, sharp, and heavy objects at every spot. But every time I say this, I get looked at like I have 3 heads. Am I the Lavidamateur_NZ says. NTA, imagine what a health and safety inspector would say. Hell no on so many levels. Traveler 691 says. It is a major violation. NTA. Boyle Edge 3 and says. NTA, why in the world would you bring an infant into the back kitchen? Light_Flowers says. Right. That's what I said, but they acted like I was crazy. Boyle Edge 3 and says. Why wouldn't we bring a newborn child into a loud, busy and dangerous place full of sharp objects, open flames and smoke? Goblin and Beast says. NTA, it's been several years since worked in a kitchen, but I'm fairly certain that is a health code violation. Not to mention, that isn't safe for the staff or the child. Here for Judgment says. Jesus Christ, why would anyone even want to bring a baby into a kitchen? If I had to make a list of places not to bring an infant, busy sports bar kitchen would be pretty high on the list. Aside from the fact that it's dangerous, there are also the health code concerns and the fact that the bar could have a major liability problem if something bad happened. NTA. Bremstrelunk 33 says. NTA. It seems like everyone else has a thorough lack of common sense. Des Cutbay says. NTA. Even if it was safe, people are working hard, it's hectic, and they're that self-centered, or think everyone is as crazy about babies as they are, that they think you're all going to just stop working, and what, play with a baby? Get for time and place lady. Jupiter's Warrior says. NTA, kids are also very messy things. They do not belong in a restaurant kitchen. Have you brought the issue up with the owners? Marmot Mish says. NTA. You are absolutely right. No one under 18 should be act with hot fire, sharp knives and grease. But a Moa baby in a carrier is at very little risk. Any child on legs would be much more in danger. However, it's your manager's kid, and there's not much you can do if stupid signs your paycheck. r/AmItheAsshole. AITA says. AITA being rude about people cutting us in line. Me and my friend, 18F, were at the mall yesterday. We were standing in line for a drink stand, and while walking up to order, 2 women with their kids suddenly just walked in front of us, stood there and stared at us for a second, and began to order. I see a lot of people do this shit at my job, where they would cut and see if the people in back of them would actually say anything. I was annoyed, so I told them straight up we was in line and to move. They clearly did it on purpose, so I didn't care if I was being an ass about it. They then began apologizing, as if they didn't do that on purpose, and I just said yeah, and walked to the stand. After we ordered, my friend said I was an asshole and should be nicer. We were both in agreement that they knew they were cutting us, so I don't understand why I need to show them any courtesy when they didn't show any towards us. AITA here. Big Cup 321 says, NTA. Some people, like your friend, are less confrontational and would rather let it happen than make a stink about it, but your way is legit too. They should get some direct feedback. ATAFRAY82 says, Yesh a lover not a fighter. I asked her if I didn't say anything would she have, and she said no. ZeroX says, that's not being a lover, that's being a pushover. That dude Sky says, unless you cussed out their kids I see nothing wrong with telling them they weren't in the right. Either your friend is overly concerned about their feeling or this is not the complete story, or what and how you talked to them. ATAFRAY82 says, I talked to them in a rude tone, but that was pretty much the entire interaction besides them walking away and giggling like what they did was cute. That dude Sky says, then yeah NTA. No obligation to sound apologetic for asking them not to cut in front of you. Dunimi says, NTA. The fact that they turned around and looked at you after they cut the line proves that they did it on purpose. Those people are fricks and you don't have to be nice to fricks. Good job on calling them out. Maybe they'll pause before they do that again. SquishyBeth77 says, NTA, people cutting in line need to be called out. I don't know how you did it, since you didn't say, but I have no issues with this. Dasba says, NTA. I regularly check where lines start. No one has ever gotten upset at a pardon me are you in line for XX. Fullstring7137 says, trusting that your assumption that they did it on purpose is correct then NTA. They giggled as they left, so I think you were probably right to call them out. Coolgerty says, NTA. Those line cutters been doing it since elementary school days. They will never learn lol. That's all for this video. Was it good? I know not for I'm a robot. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. This video is the product of an automated process.